Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Today, I know that a lot of people are not expecting me today, so it's a bit of a surprise. But I just want to make a presentation to people today on a lot of things I like to discuss with people. So, just want to wait for some people to come in, and then we're going to start the presentation. Okay, so good evening, everyone. So it's nice to have you around. I see Efe. I'll see for Joe. Amayo, nice to have you around. So today I'm going to be talking about success. What is success? Because the reason I want to talk about that today is that I've been doing a lot of thinking about how most people see success, and I also realized that it's because the way people see success is mostly against development. So people don't already understand, have a proper definition of what success is. Therefore, people don't know when they are successful. It sounds a bit crazy, but I'm going to explain to you. So let's start like this. So success, so what is success? When we were kids, we were born and we were growing up, the first thing, some of the things we need to do is to talk, So probably, I think the process is, first of all, children start to crawl, and then children start to, walk. So the first step that child takes is a very successful step. And the parents are so excited because the child was able to take that step. Now, when a child cannot take that step, for one reason or the other, then the parents are very disappointed because that child has failed, isn't it? So the child has failed. So the parents think, wow, this child is a failure. Okay? And it can be because that child has a problem. That child is sick, that child is not healthy, that child is disabled already, and the parents know that that child is never going to be able to walk. So parents say, oh, that child is a failure. The parents will not say it like that because they love the child, but at least they feel that child is not being successful. And then, of course, when the child, first of all, start talking, they say, Mama, Papa, oh, the parents are so excited because the child is talking now, and therefore the child is successful, right? So that is how success comes up. So as a very young child, our parents start to program us as to what success is. As a very young child, our parents, our society start to program us as to what success is. So now, then we go to school. So, if you are from a part of Africa, I think United States have that too. In Europe, they have canceled that years back because I think in some part of the US, they are canceling that now. That you have, in a classroom, you will say, oh, they will grade the students, say from the first, second, third, and then you have the last student in the class. It's not always nice to be the last student in class. I still remember when I was in school in Nigeria, when you come out as 1 to 3rd, oh, you are the guy, you are the girl, you are the best student. And some of us who were very brilliant by nature, it's not because we work harder than the rest, but for one reason or the other, we had a gift that some other students didn't have. Therefore, we felt very proud, we felt very successful. And there were children who were gnashing their teeth off, trying to get the material right. They couldn't. So they felt bad. So therefore, what I've noticed that as we grow older, this modeling, what we were taught in our lives, that goes with us to adulthood. So therefore, when we are making decisions in life, our decisions are based on this model. which we were taught. Logically, that's what we learn. The brain is programmed like that. So we have this model. So the next level is, what does the society, what do our parents want from us? So then, we have to get married. We have to get children. We have to get this. We have to get that. We have to get that. We have to build a house. We have to have a big car, everything. So these are all modeling from the parents and from the society. And therefore, anybody that cannot fit into that model is a failure. Okay? If you are a girl and you are 30 years old and you're still not married, you're a failure. If you are a man, I don't know how much time they give the man these days, but if you're 35 years old, 40 years old, you are still not married, you're a man, you're becoming a failure. Yeah. Now, after you are married, you got to have a child. Boom, boom, boom. You're just going to throw them out like that. Okay? And then you got to build a house. You got to do this and that. So now, assume for a moment, I want you to think about it for a moment. If you can think back to when you were a child and think, if you were not modeled in that way, what would be your definition of success today? If you were not modeled in the way that I just told you, what would be your definition of success today? What would you do to show that you are successful today? So it is a difficult question because a lot of people have not sat down to answer it, because for them, success is achieving all these things, achieving. Doesn't matter what. That's what success is. But is that really true? Is that what success is? So now, let me tell you this. Is it successful when you are unhappy? So you have a life, you're unhappy with your life. Is that success? Well, but you have a lot of money. You have a house, you have a car, you have everything, you have achieved everything you wanted to achieve materially in life. Even mentally, you have studied, done everything, but you are unhappy. Is that success? The fact is, many people today have all that, what I've just told you. They are married, they have houses, they have cars, they have everything, and so forth. They are unhappy. So therefore, they are not successful. Because at the end of the day, as a human being, your success, the definition of success is, are you happy or not? If you are happy, then you are successful. If you are not happy, then you are not. So now the question is, how do you define success? You got to define what success is to you. And that success you must detach your mind away from what other people think success is, what your parents thought success is, what your neighbors thought success is, what everybody thought success is. Because growing up in the Western world, I discovered that, Europeans and, the ideas of what success is totally different from our success. I'll give you an example. If I travel a lot, I have a lot of Germans in America, Dutch people in America, everything. I've never come across a German in America who said, oh, now I want to go back, I want to work here. After I worked and I'll stay in one small room and I will collect all the money. I'll go and build a house in Germany. I've never seen a German that did that. Okay? The same thing with a Dutch person. The same thing with an Italian. So an Italian or a German or a Dutch, just name all the European, a Swede. We go to another country and they will just do their work there and they will settle down there and they will have a nice life there and they will have children, they will grow up, they will do a lot of things there. They will just settle into the new society. But I discovered that our people, we Africans, we don't do that. Because we go to a new country and then we want to grab, and then so that we can go back to our country very fast and invest the money there. Because for us, that is success. Okay? Now, the problem with that idea is just by doing that, we become very unsuccessful because along the line, there's so many things that we miss along the line. We which are actually success because sometimes our definition of success, they are just big milestones, they are big milestones. So you have one milestone, a house, one milestone, a big car, one milestone, getting married, one milestone, this and that and that. And when we cannot reach those milestones, we feel very, very unsuccessful and very, very unhappy. Now, the crazy part is that all our lives, we are busy with everything we do to get to that milestone. So let's take, for example, a milestone to build a house. So a house is a milestone. So it means that we go into work very hard, maybe take 2 jobs, kill our brain, don't have time to spend with our partners, do so many things because we want to get to that milestone. We want to get to that milestone. And by doing all that, there are so many little things along the way that we ignore. So, and there are so many things along the way that we don't care for. For example, I always wonder, why is it that, white people appreciate flowers more than black people? Just think about it. White people appreciate flowers. So if you want to please a white woman, you actually go to the shop and buy, flowers and give it to her. You will actually go to, if you are taking a walk in a boot, along the road, and you see a beautiful flower, and you cut it and you give it to your wife at home, she will appreciate it very much. She'll go and put it in a cup of water and whatever and take care of that flower. So people have appreciation for flowers. So why is that? Because then I thought about it, I discovered that the reason for that is that, and some other things is that, success is twofold. One, success is a journey through life, okay? It's a journey through life, and in that journey, there are small steps along the way. So if you are living in London, you want to go to Manchester tomorrow. You wake up and then you take a shower, you dress up, you go to the bus stop. So that's the first leg of the journey. That's successful. The bus comes, you jump inside, and the bus moves a step forward. So you are successful. So that journey to Manchester have a lot of stages. And if each stage is not successful, then you don't get to Manchester on time, or you don't get there at all. So the same thing in life. I discovered that in life, you have all this long journey from the day you were born to the end. And this long journey has a lot of, steps along the way. And each of these steps, they need to be appreciated. That's like when you look at a flower and look at the beauty of a flower and you cut it and you give to your spouse and your spouse appreciates it, it's a part of that journey. Okay? That is success. So you feel successful because you have been able to make somebody happy. And you are happy because of that. So that goes back to what Jesus Christ, the Bible said also, there's more happiness in giving than in receiving. So you feel successful. So that is success. Success, you are happy because you've achieved something. You'll be able to make somebody else happy. So there are little stages like that you go through, and these little stages are successful. So while you are taking the whole journey, there are a lot of little stages on the way that determine your success in life. However, along that process, there are big milestones. And these milestones, these are the houses, the cars, the big projects that we do. And that is where, a lot of people think success is today. So that is for a lot of people what success is. Now, the danger of that is that we as humans, especially we Africans, I've seen that a lot, we simply destroy every little thing along the way, all these little successes along the way to get to that big project, to get to that big thing, to get to that. I've seen people who are like our people who live completely miserable life in the Western world, completely miserable life in the Western world, but they want to save everything they have to be able to build that house in their village in Nigeria. So, therefore, because their definition of success is totally different from what success is. And it is not me who is going to define to you what your success should be, because what I find successful for me is different from what your success is and should be. But there is one yardstick to measure success, and that is happiness. There is one yardstick to measure success, and that is happiness. If you are not happy, then you are not successful, no matter what you have achieved in life. No matter the material and emotional achievement you've achieved in life, if you are not happy, you are not successful. That is the measurement of success. So therefore, if one is only pursuing the big milestones in life, the big milestones, the big ones, then that person is not successful, because you will discover that by the time you get there, that's why people always say by the time you've achieved that goal, you will discover that, well, it wasn't worth it. You're not really that successful. So, because I have friends, they have multiple houses, and they are not as happy as I am. They have one house here, they have one house there, they have 3 houses in Nigeria, they have a car, they have this and that, and yet they are not as happy as I am. I have friends who have divorced their wife, they are married for the 3rd time, they have multiple girlfriends, and yet they are not happy. So then I start, so you look at this and say, okay, what is wrong here? What is the difference? Why is this person not, it's not happy? The fact is, they are not happy because they are not successful. They are not successful. Why? Because the success that the society taught them, what the society has taught people what success is, they have pursued it. And they have attained that success. And they discover that they are not happy. It doesn't make them happy. So therefore, today we have so many people, I think we are very good in that from Africa. We'll have, I often feel sad about that when I see that we have so many partners that are separated. We have so many partners that are separated. We have husbands in Nigeria, their wives in Europe, husbands in Nigeria, their wives in America, wives in Nigeria, their husband in different parts of the world. So that's what I call separated, families. Okay, this is actually very sad because we all know that we all have we don't live forever. I'm not a religious guy. A lot of people think that you can live forever, whatever. That's not the issue here. But the fact is, by the time we are pursuing success, what we think success is, especially we black people, what we think success is, and which are the big things, so we are not prepared to separate our family to gain that success. But by the time we get there, we discover that the most important thing we have left it behind, and that was the family in the first place. So people find that out, and then suddenly they don't know what to do. But the fact is, so therefore, they spend their whole life pursuing what they think success is, and they never get it, and they stay very, very unhappy. So, and I look at it and say, look, why do we keep doing these things? Why do our people keep doing these things? I know so many, I think I know so many African people, as much as white people that I know, maybe 50-50, okay? From all the white people that I know, they're all with their partners. Seriously, they're all with their partners. They're always living together. They're always in the same place. They're always in the same house. They always, they have lives together. Then, unfortunately, when most of the people I know from Africans that I know, they don't have that. People live separated life. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not trying to how do you say it, insult anybody or be unpolite to anybody. But it just make me sad that when I think maybe because that is the way I am as a human being. When I look at these white families, for me, they are more successful because they enjoy the little things together. They're happy together. But they have also built material things together. Then when I look at our part of the world and I see how separated we are, how separated the core family system is becoming, especially for most of us who have traveled, it is very scary. It means that we don't understand what success is. Another big thing that I see also is that when I was in Nigeria, I see this so often that, especially with men, that our Nigerian men who have now attained something in life, some money, some bit of financial success. They have wives in Europe or America or whatever it is, and they come to Nigeria for holiday. The first thing they want to do is to go and get another woman. There has to be another woman involved. I never get that. Why must there be another woman involved? Why must you leave your wife behind somewhere in another country, come back to Nigeria, and then the first thing you think of is going to another woman, going to get another a harlot or whatever you may call them, or So I don't get that. I don't understand what that has to do with success. So, and when I look at all this behavior, you cannot help by saying that, look, at individual level, on the family level, we have a lot of unsuccessful people. We as Africans, we have a lot of unsuccessful people at the family level. And therefore, this is, at the end, it reflects so much in our society. It reflects into our community, our society, our country. So our countries, like one famous guy, one call it in America, I'm not going to use the word, but it's not a pleasant place to live, because from the core value of our society is destroyed, and that is mostly from the family circle. Our family circle is destroyed. We don't have really that regard for family anymore. And quite frankly, I don't know if we ever did. So, therefore, I feel that, as individuals, I'm not preaching for the entire nation here, but I think that individuals, we need to start redefining for ourselves what is it to be, what it is to be successful. We as individuals, what is it for me now to be a successful person? For me, my success is that I am happy living my life the way I do. I like to teach people. I like to help people. And once I achieve that, even when I'm only able to achieve one person, I'm happy. So I'm successful in that. So that I move on to the next stage. And I move on to the next stage. I move on to the next stage. So for me, success is not about building houses. Success is also not about setting up big companies. It's not about becoming a president or a governor or whatever. That is for me not success. So success is, for me, it boils down to very little things. I like to do little things for others, and I like to do little things for myself. I like to enjoy the little things. And I think that most of our people, we are very, very unhappy because we have forgotten the little things. We Africans, we just pursue the big things with the big things. And once we get that big thing, we abandon it, and then we start pursuing the next big thing. We start pursuing the next big thing. And that is why in Nigeria, they always say, we don't have maintenance culture. We don't have maintenance culture. Because, once we get that big thing, we abandon it, and then we move on to the next big thing, start pursuing the next big thing. Because our definition of success is totally different. Whereas, people, you will see somebody who has an old car, an old timer, and they're very happy with that old timer, and they will spend time to clean it up, to maintain it, to oil it, to take care of it, because for them, success is taking care of that car. Success is taking care of that, thing that they have. So, what I really want people to start doing is to say, look, why I'm saying this today is that, like every of you know, our country, Nigeria, is totally messed up. It's totally messed up, and the idea that we all are going to clean it up tomorrow is a utopia, okay? Because we cannot clean our country up. Really, I strongly believe that we cannot clean our country up, but what we can do is to redefine ourselves. We can redefine ourselves, because it is when you say, okay, I'm going to change a country of 180 million people, it's my belief that you cannot change somebody. You can change yourself. So if we start changing ourselves individually, then maybe we'll start seeing the result in the bigger term. If we start to define what for us success is, that, and we start to redefine that success for us is, they are not big things, they are little things, but these little things, they add up. If you are successful with little things, and these little things add up and become big things, then we become successful. And that success is different, because if you look, that success is different. That is the type of success that white people have. That is the type of success that white people have. That is what I've noticed. That is why you see, that is also the why you see that there is dignity of labor in the Western world. Because if you give a white guy job to do, no matter what the job is, they're going to take the time to really do that work very specifically, very thoroughly, to make sure that it is done accurately well. Then, because they feel that they're successful doing that. I was, in my place, there's a roof leaking, and then so somebody has to come to check the roof. So the guy come in, check the roof, and they cannot find the leakage, come in and check it and do everything he can do. He has come 4 times. So the last time he came, they didn't even bother anymore. I opened the front door down, I said, okay, you go upstairs and fix it. I don't care, you just do your own thing. So, and then when he finished, then he left the house, just left the house. So it was later in the day that I went upstairs to go and see what he did. So I looked at it, and everything was neat. It kept everything exactly how it left it. Nothing moved in the bathroom. It just cleaned the bathroom thoroughly and left it like that. So, and last year I was in Nigeria. We also had people come into the house to fix something. I mean, you cannot leave somebody behind to come and fix your house like that. Then you must be crazy, because some disaster is going to take place in your bathroom. Either they blow everything up, or they mess everything up, or they steal something or whatever. Something terrible is going to happen in your bedroom, in your bathroom. So if you have a workman in Nigeria, you are always with that person. You are always policing that person. You never move. If this person move that way, you move. He moves the other way, you move the other way. Why? Because this person is a danger to you in the house. You feel that. So you discover that this guy that came to my house to fix the bathroom, he wants to do a good job. He himself wants to do a good job. And after he left, he sent me a text, because I didn't see him leaving. He sent me a text and say, "Oh, how was it? How was it?" I say, when the rain falls, I will check it. So the rain fell later in the day, and I sent him a text. Oh yeah, it seems to be dry because it's not leaking anymore. So he was happy about it. So now, why is it that we cannot do that? So if you start looking at the reason why we behave the way we do, I say we because I'm a black man too, but I don't behave like that. If we start to look at why we behave the way we do, you will start to realize that it boils down to one thing. Because our definition of success is totally warped, is totally screwed up. So we need to start redefining what success is for us. Because, for example, I give you an example. Another example that can hit home with some people, in where we come from, like in my place, you don't adopt another child, a child that doesn't belong to you. Say, okay, I want to adopt a child. You go and adopt another man's child. Hey, this is big trouble. Last time I heard one or two people were adopting children, but it's totally not allowed. You adopt somebody else's child. That means first, it's a shame to your wife. It's a shame to you. It's a shame to everybody. It's a scandal that you're going to adopt a child. But then you will see, white people, they go out, they just adopt children. So I'll adopt one, adopt two, adopt three. You will see Madonna, going to Africa to adopt children there. And I say, if it was the other way around, we wouldn't be going to Africa to adopt children. Why? Go and bring that dirty child to my house? So, but why do you have these people? Some people will go to a very dirty Africa and go and adopt a very dirty child. Sometimes the child is also sick. Yes, and I know there is love. There's this person loved that person. But you take somebody like Madonna, for example, somebody like Angelina Jolie, who are very rich, they are millionaires, they're celebrities and so forth. Why should they go to Africa to adopt a child from an orphanage? So the thing is that their definition of success is different from our definition of success. So you see somebody who is a celebrity in the Western world going all the way to Africa to adopt a child, whereas you come to a country, in the same country, an African country, you see people with a lot of stolen money, and they cannot even spend a bit to help a child. We're not saying adopt that child. We say, okay, spend a bit just so that child can have food to eat now. That's the only thing we're asking for. So, but they cannot do that. So it is people get angry and say, this is wickedness. This is wickedness. No, it's not just wickedness. I know you can trace it back to wickedness, but at the end of the day, I think it is the fact that people have the wrong priorities in life. Because it is not only the rich people that are doing this. The middle class people are doing this. The poor people are doing this. Everybody seems to be doing this. Because that is the way of living. That is the lifestyle of people. That's why you have in Nigeria also you have this slave mentality treatment. Especially when people that work for you, you treat them like a servants. You beat them up. In Nigeria, they say that is very common now. You have a house girl. You must beat the house girl up. You have a boy that washes your car or security. These people must be maltreated. They must be paid very little, so they don't even have money to eat. You see somebody who say, he's a gate man in Nigeria, and he's getting 14,000 naira a month. 14,000, I mean, that is torture. That's torture. And what is more crazy about it is that most of our people that are in the diasporas who should know better, they go back to Nigeria and they help propagate this idea as well. Employ people and pay them 14,000, 12,000 naira. If you cannot pay somebody 14,000 naira in the present day Nigeria and expect the person to be working every day for 30 days. I mean, people, we need to start using common sense. I've argued this thing so many times. How can you employ somebody? I've been in a situation where somebody was employed for 14,000 naira and this person was expected to work every day, and not even only in the working day, in the daytime, no, 24 hours. The person has to be there serving Monday to Sunday and for 14,000 naira. And this person when this person say, "Oh, I want to go and see my friend somewhere outside," then it's a big fight. Say, look, these things are not right. And the reason why we are behaving like this is because we're having people are having simply the wrong, perspective towards life. What for them success is totally wrong. It's totally screwed up. Normal people in the Western world, normal white people don't live like that. This way you will see a lot of people here, no matter how rich they are, like in my neighborhood, I don't know what each person is worth. Really, I don't know. We have millionaires here. We have people with a lot of money here. Nobody cares. Everybody just mind his own business. We see each other at the golf course. We wave each other. See each other at the beach. We wave each other. Nobody really cares. Nobody has a houseboy. Nobody has a motorboy. Nobody has a driver. Everybody just live their life like that. Dress with old shabby jeans and just walk around. You see, because their perspective towards life is different. What for them success is totally different than what we think success is. So that is why you have happy people. Happy people create happy environment. Happy environment create a better country. And it works like they say, what goes around comes around. So in our part of the world, we live the other way around. Everything we do, because of our own perspective towards life, what we call success. Our success means that somebody else have to suffer. Somebody else must be lower than we are. Somebody else must, if we are successful, that means somebody else must be under us. So you cannot have a house and the other person has a house as well. That person must have nothing. Must be living in the container outside. Okay, so then we are very successful, which is totally wrong. So I think for a lot of people in Nigeria and in Africa, there is no hope anymore. There is no hope anymore because they can never learn. It is my belief that they can never learn. But I still believe that a lot of people can learn to redefine themselves as to what they think success is. And to give you a roadmap, success means what makes you happy. And before somebody said to me, what makes me happy is to beat up my neighbor. And this is the second part. What makes you happy must not infringe on the right of others. Okay? So if I say, I cannot say my what makes me happy is to beat up somebody, because that would be infringing on the right of the other person. So basically, it's a very clear definition. What makes you happy? And it doesn't have to be big stuff. They're mostly small stuff. So people are happy. What makes them happy is to see a sunset. Okay, see a sunset. So you have a little kitty. Take a walk on the beach. Take a walk on the sunset. Those are little things that makes a lot of people happy. So those are little successes. Now, and those little successes, we Africans, we need to learn to be doing those things, because we don't do much of those things. And because we don't do much of those things, that is why we are some of the most unsuccessful people in the world, because we don't take time to do the little stuff. We don't take time to do the little things that are successful. That's why it's one of the reasons why we don't invent things. It's not because Africans cannot invent things. They can, but to invent things, you need to spend a lot of time doing very little things. And playing with little things, inventing little things all the time, even when it's difficult. You just keep doing it until something you are successful in it. You hardly see our people spend 20 years in a laboratory. 20 years in a laboratory trying to invent something. 20. I've seen people spend 40 years in the lab in Europe trying to achieve something. Say, how long have you been busy? 40 years. It's still not done. But we don't have that time because we are so in hurry. Because if you are spending 40 years trying to invent the medicine for cancer, that is the 40 years you cannot build a house. That is the 40 years you cannot build a mansion in your village. Those are 40 years you cannot show off with, expensive car because you are busy focused on something else. But the funny thing is that at the end of the day, that guy, that white guy who was busy for 40 years, he's more happier than the one who has built a house in Ogun State, the one who has done this, who have done that, who have done that, who have done that. And most of the time in the world, when they want to give recognition to people, Nobel Prize, for example, they are given to people who have spent so much time working on some very important things that move the human race further. So much time working on, some very powerful theories in physics, in mathematics, in biology, in all these scientific experiments. But they don't give Nobel Prize to people for how many houses they build or how much they have on the bank account or what other stuff. No, nobody does that. Nobody does that. So if we look at life, then we have to start realizing that, look, we must start redefining what success is. Black people all over the world must start to redefine for themselves what success is. Success is family. Success is not splitting your family in two. One part is living in Ivory Coast and the other part is living in Togo. Or, it doesn't, because the reason why people do that, like I said earlier, it's not because they have no choice. The reason why people do that is because they are pursuing a very different goal in life, and that goal which they think is success, takes them away from the little things that is success. Those little things, the family, seeing your child grow up, spending time with your spouse, doing very specific things, taking a walk in a garden, making a garden bed, or growing flowers. All those are little things that make life much richer. And when we start doing those things, then success will start coming up. Success will start coming up. Because a lot of people talk to me, I used to speak to a lot of people and say, why are you different? And so I really sat down to start answering, to think about it and say, why am I different from a lot of Nigerian men, for example? Why am I different? And I start to narrow it down because I think about it. I start to narrow it down and say, look, I'm different because my definition of success is different from what most people think success is. My definition of success is totally different from what people think success is. My definition of success, I defined it when I was in my early 20s, what my success would be. I'll give you an example. When I got married 27 years ago, one of my definitions of success was, I told my wife, I said, look, I will never put you in a shabby house. Never do it. Because my wife was worried because she saw a lot of Africans, they were living in shabby areas. Okay? They live in shabby homes. Sometimes they would go and live in a room in an apartment where other people live in also in other rooms. So because I was young, I said to her, look, one thing I'll promise you is that I will never put you in a shabby place or put you in a place where you have to share a house with other people. Okay, that's what I promise. So you fast forward 27 years later, never did. She never lived in a shabby place. Even when we were in Nigeria, we still live in the best houses in the area. It was a shabby country, but we live in the best houses in the area. So at the end, I wondered, I said, look, but yeah, of course we've gone through difficult times as well. But why was I able to keep that promise? It was not that we were always rich, no. And we live in different countries. We live in more than 7 to 8 countries, permanently. And I discovered that the reason why I was able to keep that promise was because my definition of success was totally different. For me, my success was my wife has to be happy no matter what. Okay? And one of the things that will make her happy is that I keep to my promise. Okay? One of the things that is going to make her happy is that I keep my promise. And my promise was, you're never going to live in a shabby place. So, because of that, all my decisions, I'm going to repeat that, all my decisions that I took them knowing the promise that I made. So if I had to take a business risk that I think is, it could backfire, I remember that, look, if this go wrong, then I might end up living in a shabby neighborhood. So I'm not going to do that. So, so all decisions. So anytime I take decisions, those promises, my definition of success was always there. That's my success, and I don't want to lose that success. So therefore, if I got a business that, remember was the time somebody invited me to Dubai. I had to go to Dubai for 6 months, and while my wife was in Europe, and I said to them, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to separate. I don't want to separate from my family. So there is always that definition of success was totally different. So when people ask me, some people feel that, because I have been so successful materially, that is why my family is always together from day one to today. But that is not so. It is not because I was successful materially, that was why I was able to do that. No, that was what for me success is. For me, success was keeping my family intact. That was what success was. So therefore, there was nothing. I didn't allow anything to take place to destroy that. Because if I took that work in Dubai, then I would be separated from my family. If I went to Nigeria to go and do some work without my spouse coming along, I will break that law. If I go and live in a shabby neighborhood in Abeokuta, and then, because there's something I want to do there, we are going to mine some mineral resources there. You must come. We'll go and stay there in the bush. Then, I've broken that promise. I've broken that success factor. So for me, I hope that gives a little bit clearer explanation of what success is. Success is for me, and it's still that same success today. And therefore, I will never do anything. I will never take any decision today that we change the fact, that we make it happen that I go and spend my time in a shabby house with her, because that is not my definition of success. So therefore, when you go back to what success is, my success is to see that she's happy. My success is to see my family is happy, is intact. So therefore, any decision that along the way will spoil that is never taken. That, because I want to be successful, I stay successful. And that is why I said you need to define for yourself what success is. And once you have that definition, what success is, your decisions are going to guide you always, and you're always going to stay successful. And that is how the success is formed. And I've discovered that most people who are successful, people will look at in life and say, these people are successful. That's what they do. They just have a baseline of what success is. They don't jump from one place to the other. They don't go and drink beer with some friends and let the friends decide for them what success has to be from now on. That's not what they do. They decide for themselves already for a very long time what for them the success factor is. People like me, sometimes I take it for granted because I think everybody have done that. But later I realized that, look, not everybody has done this. People have not decided for themselves what for them success is. So therefore, they are still following the blueprint that was laid out for them when they were kids, when they were children, what success is. Some people are still living the blueprint their parents put out for them, the blueprint that the society put out for them, the blueprint that the churches put out from them. The blueprint, it's just the blueprint from friends, from family, from everybody, but they don't have their own blueprint. So you need to look at yourself and say, look, what is my definition of success? Which, in a way, is it, forget about what you have thought about success today. Okay? Just do the exercise. Really, if you were to forget everything you think today of being what your life, success is in your life, what will be the definition of success? What would your life look like as a successful person? Okay? You do that exercise, you start to realize that, look, you might be living the definition of success that is not defined by you, but defined by other people. Okay? And if that is the case, and you feel you are not happy, that might explain why you are not happy. The goal in life is not to live the definition of success from other people. You need to live your definition of success for yourself. And sometimes, you know you are on the right track when you make a decision and people are against you. You know you're on the right track. When you say, for example, some women will say, I don't want to have children. And then the whole world will be on them. Parents, friends, sisters, everybody will be on them. So then you know you're on the right track. Or you see, you wake up one day and say, I don't want to go to university. I just want to, do self-study, self-educate myself, and, do this and that and that. Or you have opportunity to build a career. No, I don't want to build that career. I want to, I want to self-study, and I want to start my own business, and I don't want to go with Uncle Sam. But yeah, you're going to earn $20,000 a month. No, excuse me, I don't care. I just want to be able to take care of my family, and I'll build up a small business with it. So once you do that and people start to go against you, then you know that you're on the right track, because you are going against the doctrine, the programming of the environment, of the society, and they are not happy with it. And that is when people start to go against you. That is when you know that you're on the right track. And if you're on the right track, you just got to keep there, because some people say, I'm not happy, I want to be happy, and so forth. Yes, you are not happy because you're living the life of other people. You're living the success story of another people. Because when you finally achieve your goal, most of the time you are not the one that is happy. It's those people that are happy. Like, I remember there was a time people were shouting on me, I should come and build a house in Nigeria, build a house in Nigeria, build a house in Nigeria. So, I never did. If I should have built that house in Nigeria, then it wasn't me that would be happy. Guess who would be happy? It was somebody else. It was my parents. It was my uncles. It was all these people that would be happy that, my son has built a house, so come and look at the house of the son. But does that make me happy? No. It is. So if I have done it, who am I doing it for? I'm doing it for other people. So I'm living a success story of other people. Other people say, my son has to build a house, then I'm happy with him, or I'm happy. So when I build a house, then I'm living their own life and not my life. So, but that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something else. So I have to fight to do what I want to do. And to finalize, a lot of people today, especially in our people, our black people, we are living the life success story of other people. We are living the life success story of our families, our parents, our society, and that is why most of us are very, very unhappy. Most of us don't have the time. Most of us cannot start a business because you really don't have the time to start a business, because we're always living the life of other people. So we need to reconfigure. We need to reconfigure and go back. And because for me, it's one of the ways that we can start changing our society. Is one of the ways we can start changing because we have to change ourselves, start, redefine what life is for us, redefine what success is for us, redefine what happiness is for us. And then we can start, by the time we have this transformation within ourselves, and then automatically we can start transforming societies. And not, and not that if we don't understand what we have not been able to transform ourselves. So it's very difficult to expand this to a third party. So that's it. So this tomorrow I will be back here I'll be talking about something great tomorrow, okay? I'll be talking around this time tomorrow. I'll be talking about preparation. It's a very interesting topic because today I talk about success. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about preparation. How do you prepare for your life? What is really, people are not prepared for their lives. People don't show up for their lives. But you need to be we need to start showing up. We need to start preparing. But I also realize that most of these things we were never taught. We were just born, we just thrown into the world, say, okay, go and feed for yourself. And so therefore, we really need to start learning these things. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about preparation. I'm going to be talking with people on how to prepare for their lives. And, I know people are living their lives, but how do you proceed with having prepared for your life? So that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And finally, so I'm going to be building up a series of program towards the end of the month. And next month in March, I'll be in London. I will be in London on the 10th and 11th of March. I'll be 11 for 2 days. That's a weekend. I will be doing a live, workshop with people on how to, get out of Uncle Sam. I'm really going to be teaching people on how to set up their own business and how to grow their business. So that will be on the 10th and 11th of March. And so I will be teaching people how to set up multiple streams of income, because I realize that a lot of people don't understand how to do this. A lot of people don't understand how to set up a business, especially today. We are lacking behind as Black people, as Africans, in this modern technology. The opportunities out there is so huge, but guess where we are? We are so behind. We are so crying. We are so begging. We don't know what to do. So what I want to do is to provide from now to the end of the month a series of training that will really start getting up your mind towards setting up your own business, okay, and how to do it. It's not just the theory, but really practical steps on how to do it. And then when I'm in London, for those who are in London or in the UK, on the 10th and 11th, I think I get the date right, it's Saturday and Sunday, then I'll be breaking everything down on how to create 6 streams of income that you can start this year, 2018. You'll be able to break down these 6 streams of income and really start building up your income so that before this year runs out, you will be able to get out of Uncle Sam. You're not going to, you'll be able to have your own business fully automated online. This is possible, and I don't understand why our people are not able to do it. Okay, so you just have to be prepared for it. So what I'm going to be doing every evening is going to be free. I mean, if you want to watch, you watch. I'm not charging money for it. So, but I'll just be preparing your mind, because I realize that a lot of our people want to do something, but they don't know how to. Okay, they want to do something, but they don't know how to, and so therefore I just don't want to teach you the how to, but I also want to teach you how to think like me, in a good way. You don't have to replicate me. When I say think like me, I mean analytic. Because if I say to people, if I give people a product and say, okay, look, what type of business ideas can you come up with? People cannot answer. People cannot, I see an opportunity and I can tell you 10 different things what you can do with that opportunity. But when I ask the same question, people are not able to give me the answer. So, and I realize that they don't know. They try, but they don't know because they cannot think analytically to be able to come up with the answers. So I'm going to try to teach you that. So, it's up to you if I'm successful or not, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to teach you that. So that I'll be doing that in the next 10 days. So hopefully by the end of the 10 days, you can say, now I got it. I can think analytically. Maybe you get better than I do. I will appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's nice talking to you. So if you have a comment, put it under the video. If there's something you want me to talk about, put it under the video. I'd like to talk about it. I hope this today was not too philosophical. People say, it was not intention to have it more philosophical. People are used to me talking about Nigerian problems. People are used to me talking about Nigerian problem, Nigerian, situation, pastors, everything. Few weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore because I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of talking about Nigerian problems, So from, it was not so that I want to abandon people. No, I don't want to abandon people. I don't want to talk about Nigerian problems anymore. And really, I will not be talking about Nigerian problems anymore. What I will be doing is I will be coming up with, I want to teach individuals concept on how to build their lives up. I want to teach individuals ways and ideas on how to set up their business, set up their life, and live a very productive life. I don't want to talk about Nigerian problems anymore. You know why? It is a bit selfish because it's driving me crazy. Honestly, literally, it's driving me crazy talking about Nigerian problems because it seems not to have an end to it. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Like they say in Igbo land, the Biko, I don't want to talk about it anymore. So we're just going to be focused. I will be razor focused on how to turn people into very sharp entrepreneurs, sharp people, very useful people to their communities, to their life, to their families. And you know what? You can do this anywhere. I don't care where you live. You can live in Tokyo. You can live in Amsterdam. You can live in New York. Anywhere you live in the world, you can be a useful person in anywhere you are. You can contribute to the society. You can contribute to yourself. You can be as great as you want to be. And if you are in Nigeria, you want to do the same, you can also do the same. So I've talked about Nigeria enough. Don't want to do it anymore. And I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of it. So guys, that's it for me. Some people think I was not going to talk anymore. Yes, of course I'm going to talk. That's what I do. I'm going to train people. It's just that, I'm tired of talking about problems, man. So thank you very much for listening. Appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow and I will be talking about preparation. Don't miss it all because it's really going to be very interesting. It's going to be interesting. After you listen, if you are not getting me now because you are used to me talking about Nigerian problems, just watch me for 5, 6, 7 days. You will start getting it. This is my new book. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Bye.